I think this is another way that Canadian sports have spoiled me. In the winters in Canada, if you go find a local league hockey game, those guys play with like pure heart and they honestly don't care if they go home missing a front tooth. When you go to an NHL game and they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, did I tap you?" Not bad. I know this is so anti what people think, but I legit want to see blood on the ice. Also, the people in the stands who brought their own six packs, there's a family atmosphere there that just cannot. You're freezing to death, you're drinking beer, and you're cheering for violence, and it just bonds you on some level. Or there's a couple parks in Toronto where you'll find a cricket match. People know they're there for the day. They have brought a picnic for all three meals. And then it just turns into this kind of like, oh, what do you got? What do you got? Try my samosa. Like, it's community around a sport, but like these guys care. They also recently went to the cricket champions and like won and then just went home. For previous jobs that I've had, we've had to take people out for like marketing events where we bring them to sports events, and every single time that I have to negotiate rates for boxes or tickets, I just I don't understand. I've said this before, there's a team out in Long Island called Long Island Ducks. The tickets aren't very expensive. A family can certainly afford to go and get stadium food and have a nice night out without like completely breaking the bank. If I have to go watch a baseball game in New York, I would choose Long Island Ducks over the Yankees. Just America has turned it, like everything else, into an industry, but to the point that you can't afford to go to half of these games. I have friends who are the biggest Yankees fans ever. When they started having kids, they had to start getting lesser Yankee seats, and now maybe once a year, not because of their kids, but because of the price. Like, they can't go. They are lifetime Yankees fans who can afford to go maybe once, twice a year at most. They are devoted fans. They watch every game, they know all the stats, they know all the everything. They can barely afford to get into the stadium. Even the merch? Take a blue baseball hat, $5. Take a blue baseball hat and put a Yankees logo on it. Or there was a time in New York where it was really big for the girls to wear a pink hat with a New York Yankees logo on it. $55 for a hat. I'm paying you so I can be a fan of your. At least if the jersey money was going to the athlete, I'd be like, okay. It's going to whoever licensed whatever. What's it, the high school or the college basketball players for March Madness? They actually had to sue all the video game companies for all those basketball games. It was their likeness, their image, their name, their number, millions of dollars of sales. They got nothing for it. And the fact that every American school system pays to make these kids athletes, feeds them all the way up to college, so then they can turn pro, and pro sports haven't paid for any of it. Like, do you know how many hours like a baseball mom spends driving her kid around the state, if not the country, because some of these matches end up being in like Kentucky? She's ended up in Mexico for some of these stupid summer leagues. Mexico is not stupid, the league is. All for the hope that one day her kid might go pro? Do you know what the odds are versus the money and time spent? The other side of it is like the American education system is really expensive. Sports might be one of the only ways for you to get to university and get university paid for. I was tall, so when I graduated, I got a scholarship because I was the tallest girl in my state to graduate. I know, it's kind of stupid, but I got money for just that. I used to be tall. Now these girls are like 6'7". I used to be tall. I got another one because I played basketball in high school and there was a scholarship for tall people who played basketball. I didn't have to be any good. I just needed to play. And in return, I got $20,000. Number of art scholarships I got? Frickin' zero. Number of art scholarships that were available total? Like 50 in the country that we were all competing for. And sure, had I played the kazoo for over 10 years, there was a scholarship for that. There are thousands of sports scholarships. Sheer number of people that wanted me to go play for their school just for my height to be intimidated when we walked onto the court. But I think it's absolutely crazy how much towns pay in to a sports program that is essentially a feeder program for pro sports that never give a dime back to the community. But seriously, to everybody. go check out your local leagues. And if you're ever in Canada, go to a curling match. You have no idea. Go to a curling match. It will forever change how you view curling.